Gil Junger, reporting for Kids First and Zay at the Movies. Today I have such an amazing opportunity to talk to director and writer Gil
Younger.
Junger?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gil Junger with his new film, Think Like a Dog. Hi Gil, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. I feel like this film is almost a love letter for dogs. I mean, it has humans have a very special connection with dogs. And I feel like my mom always tells me dogs have healing qualities. So where did the inspiration for this film come from?
It's a very good question, and your mom is right, by the way, about the dog's healing qualities. And offline, I could tell you a study that's come out recently. You know, there's a love hormone that the human body
Yeah.
creates. I think it's called I forget the name of it. Oxytocin? No, maybe oxytocin. Anyway, there's a study, and I won't waste your time with this, but just for your mom, there's a study, Harvard Medical, that if you look into your dog's eyes for more than 30 seconds, the human brain is flooded with the love hormone, and so is the dog's.
That's so sweet. I know whenever I'm sad or just like not feeling my best, I always get my dog and she always makes me feel so happy after.
But that's the reason. It's because when you connect with your dog, it's been medically proven that you release a love hormone, and so does the dog. It's so cool. Okay, anyway, and that is part of the reason it is a love letter to dogs, and it was also meant as a love letter to my children. I wrote the movie when I kind of thought there's a good chance I might get divorced, and I was very worried about my kids and how they're going to be. And so I wanted to write a movie that they could see that shows that even if there is a divorce, because 50% of America has them, it's not the end. As long as there's mutual respect, and as long as the parents love their kids and let the kids know it, the kids will be okay. And I believe that to be true. And also during this time of, introspection and sadness for myself, I kind of thought, why is my dog happy every single day? They're always happy. They wake up happy.
Smiling. They're always just happy.
Oh yeah, they're just like joy. It's like, wow, I'm alive again. So I thought about that for a while at the same time. And then I realized, wait a minute, maybe it's as simple as just gratitude. Maybe dogs are just grateful. And if you come from a place of gratitude, then life is a gift. And I recognize, and that was a time in my life, maybe I wrote this 5-6 years ago. And that was a time in my life where I was finally learning that if I want to feel content, if I want to grow into the man that I've always wanted to be, I can't find the answers outside of myself. It's not going to be a bigger house or a boat or more cars or whatever. The answers are all inside. And I kind of combined that with the way a dog looks at life, because even in the movie, it says specifically, the dog says, Henry says, I have everything I need. I've got I have a family that loves me. I get 2 free meals a day. I can pee anywhere I want, which I would get arrested.
I love that line in that scene. It's amazing. Yeah. And I feel like
it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that was the genesis of the movie.
Yeah. And this film, I think it has so many messages. And like, as you said, dogs, they really just appreciate the little things in life. I mean, people are always thinking, why don't I have this? But dogs are they think about the simple things. And like, life could be so much simpler if we just think about that. So what true messages I guess you kind of already said that, but what really messages did you want to say to all children in this film?
Wow, good for you. Well, that's a great question, by the way, and especially for kids. I'm 65. I know I look 35. I'm joking, but I'm 65. And it wasn't until 2 years ago that I kind of finally figured this thing called life. And it's because I just accepted who I am rather than trying to be someone I'm not, because of, oftentimes when we're kids, we get messages and we believe that we're less than. We're not as pretty as we want to be. We're not as smart. We're not as successful. None of that is true. I truly believe it's like Lady Gaga's song, Born This Way. No, I'm not joking. I really believe that we're born kind of perfect. And what happens in life is that we become conditioned to believe things about ourselves from reflections of others. And one of the things I would love for kids to take away from this movie, and it's the same message I put in 10 Things I Hate About You, by the way, is just appreciate yourself because you're amazing. You know, if you're not one of the cool kids, who cares? If you're not one of the hot kids in school, who cares? You're yourself. And your gifts are unique, and that's what makes you special. So anyway, it's a big life lesson to hope a kids can get. But damn, I would have been a lot happier if if I appreciated myself at a younger age. Let's put it that way.
I love that, because when you think about this film, it's just like a film for dog, like about dogs, and there's a lot of dog films out there, but this one, it's different because there's just so many powerful messages. Kids need to know this, and I feel like a movie about dogs, especially, is just the perfect way to put it.
No, thank you.
Yeah, cast in this film, I felt like it was so important to get the right people, and I feel like the cast in this film was amazing. So how was it casting all these actors who were great?
That's really another very. How old are you?
I'm 11.
Jeez Louise. You're impressive. I got very lucky. And here's the reason. I got, Megan Fox, a big actress, and Josh Duhamel, a big actor, to do a little family movie. I mean, these guys did Transformers, one of the biggest franchises of all. The reason they were willing to do this little movie is because they loved the message that you and I have just been talking about. That's the reason. Josh said to me, I love this script. I identify with it. I have had these exact same feelings. And Megan said the same thing. And Megan said, I want to do whatever I can to get this message out there because I believe in it. So, 90% of my job was done because I had two amazing actors that truly believed in what I was trying to say. And then regarding Gabriel,
I loved him so, he's God.
incredible. I am telling you, as the man who found Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, okay, I know a little thing or two about casting without sounding arrogant, or maybe I did sound arrogant,
No.
but it's true. I do know how to cast. And I'm telling you, I must have read 250 kids before, and I still didn't have the kid. And I was 3 weeks away from shooting this movie, and I still didn't have the kid. And I was like, oh boy, but I was not going to settle. I was not going to settle because I know how important that role is. And Gabriel came to my house to read for me and the producer, and I was stunned by his depth. I was stunned by his intelligence. And you know what? And now having done the film with him, I'm even more crazed about how good he is. He's one of those like once in a decade finds, in my opinion. He's going to be a massive movie star. Yeah, he's very, very special. I got lucky. Yeah.
I saw him within maybe 1 minute of watching this, and I saw Gabriel for like the first time on the screen. I was like, wow, this kid, like, I'd never seen him before, and it was shocking because he was just so good.
Yep.
Yeah. And how is it working with a dog? I mean, my dog, I tell her to sit down and stand still, doesn't work. So I can't imagine how it is to try to film a movie with the dog. How does that work?
Well, we got lucky. I picked the dog. It was an untrained dog. I just loved his face. And then the trainers got to work right away. They worked with him for 3 months.
Wow.
Training. I had it detailed in the exact moves and the exact blocking, which is positions. I gave them all that information long before I ever shot the movie because I had it all in my head, right? So they did their job incredibly, but here is something that they did that I think makes this movie stand out. They knew how much I wanted the relationship between Gabriel and the dog to look real. right? Here's one of the big problems. Dogs rarely look into a person's eyes. They're always looking for the trainer. And what they suggested, which was so smart, was the instant Gabriel showed up on set 2 weeks before the filming, the instant he showed up, they made sure that Gabriel spent every free minute for a month, every free minute with Henry. And slept with him, hung out with him, brought him back to his hotel room. And what happened because of that is they literally created a friendship and a relationship and trust. The dog just trusted Oliver. So whenever they were looking at each other, the dog was literally looking at him.
That's so special.
It is so special. And even the dog trainer said to me that they've never seen it work as successfully as it did in my movie, because they really bonded and you can feel it. You really feel that Henry's listening. It's pretty cool.
Well, that's amazing. And the cinematography, I love. How was it filming in China? It's like so hard to find all the perfect locations.
Oh,
And
well, I'll just say, I'll stop you at cinematography. One of the things I wanted to do in this movie was to make it unlike any other family film, in that I didn't want a goofy family film with not such smart kids, with the parents who are the goofballs upstairs that you never, and they always say stupid things. I wanted to make this movie as realistic and sophisticated as I could. So when I decided to get a DP, a cinematographer, I got a man that I worked with who's already won national awards for his work. This type of guy would never do a family film. He's an art film director. He's won many awards. He's won the BAFTAs and been nominated for Oscars. He's incredible. Yet he loved the script and he poured it in. And I told him, I said, I want this to be shot as if it were a big studio drama. Make it real. And he did. And it's gorgeous. And shooting in China was a wild ride. Let's just put it that way.
yeah, in the first, I think it was in the first 5 minutes of the film, there was like a thing, and then you could see all the stairs and the mountains and stuff.
Crazy.
It was so pretty.
Oh, thanks.
What directors or like what influenced your career? Directors, films.
Oh, wow. Such an interesting question. Well, I've always loved Ridley Scott. Some of the Hal Ashby films, you know, I've been kind of compared to, that's before your time, but one of the things I like in movies that I strive for is to find a really good balance between heart and humor. That's what I think I'm good at, or what I strive to be good at. And like I don't know if you ever saw that, Cameron Crowe is a director I love, for example. He did Almost Famous. I don't know if you saw that movie, but it's those type of it's the movie directors that really concentrate on relationships and human emotion, as opposed to big blockbuster movies where it's all about CGI and explosions and chases. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm much more interested in the human heart. And writers and directors that can really emote feelings, that's kind of the excellence that I strive for.
So last question before we end the interview. So this is such a positive, uplifting movie, as we've already kind of touched on that. So this is kind of the perfect movie or situation because of what's going on right now. This pandemic, everyone's at home.
Incredible.
Can't see you in person, but this is the best that we could do. So what do you think audiences should expect from this film?
Well, you know, I think most audiences, not kids, but certainly adults, are going to think it's another stupid family film with a talking dog. I literally think that's what they're going to think. And, you know, it's going to be one of those films where the parents go, oh my God, it's 90 minutes left. I can't believe this movie. And I think, and I hope that parents and kids alike are going to really enjoy the film because it's honest, it's realistic, it's heartbreaking, and it's heartwarming, and it's also fun. It's a fun message It's a fun delivery of an important emotional message, which is appreciate what you have. And look at what's happening in the world right now. If you can just even appreciate what are the two most important things in the movie? Love and family. And it just so happens that everyone now is in their homes with their family. And if people could just take a minute and go, we have everything. We have love and we have family, and it's all in this room. And I think, I hope it lifts people's spirits, especially with what's going on today.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna lift people's spirits, especially as a dog. I mean, who doesn't like dogs?
Yeah, I know.
Thank you so much for talking with me.
My pleasure.
My Dog opens on June 9th. Go check it out, digital and on demand.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Think like a dog.
How'd you get so smart, Henry?
You smell as many butts as I have, you tend to pick up a few things.